Why haven't we gotten a new iteration of a new Static Shock TV show, or at least a bare minimum a live action iteration of Static? I remember a few years ago when the Spider-Verse movies were popping off that the conversations on who should be playing a live action Miles Morales was swirling around, and within that conversation more characters were being thrown in and people were asking, oh, who should play a live action of that character, and Static being one of them. It's not like he's lacking in popularity, so I can understand why that conversation will come up. And I know for a fact, I'm 100% sure that the moment there is an announcement for a Static Shock movie, all of the DC fanboys will get a nice little wet spot in their jeans. We may never get a proper answer why we never get an iteration for new Static. Maybe Miles Morales was the closest to completing the black quota, so maybe asking for a full black hero is just a tad bit too greedy. We already had the half breed. Going for a full breed is just a little bit too much, right? I mean, we just had Black Lightning that just ended, I don't know, a very recent and affordable 3 years ago. And it's not like DC is suffering as far as I know. James Gunn, I swear on my life, you better be cooking over there, because if you're not, we gonna have some words. I know that for a fact. But hypothetically, if they were to make that Static movie, I am convinced that movie will never meet the expectations of even the average moviegoer, let alone the DC Dakotaverse fans, which unfortunately has been quite common lately when it comes to recent adaptations of certain series and IPs. Do I need to load a Borderlands for an example? If a Static Shock movie was made, it would probably be the next big live action movie to hit the screens in the eyes of Hollywood at that current point in time. However, something tells me that the Hollywood executives or directors might just put their foot in that script and not in a good way. That is only for one specific reason. They, more than likely, will not be able to stop and look past the fact that Virgil Hawkins, the person behind Static, they will not be able to look past the fact that he is black.
What?
Let me break it down. Miles Morales has a massive fan base currently for a lot of reasons. His characters, designs, storylines, games, and movies. Into the Spider-Verse may have been a major introduction to a lot of non-Spider-Man fans in droves. A movie that appeases so many different kinds of Marvel/Spider-Man fans while making such an incredible movie that can appease a moviegoer who may know little to nothing about Miles Morales. I know it did for me. Like I said in a previous video, I have mostly been a DC fan for the majority of my life. He says begrudgingly. I knew about the multiple versions of Spider-Man and whatnot, but I never really knew about the narrative details about them, and Miles fell into that category for me. Into the Spider-Verse opened my perspective further into his origins, and despite not being my most favorite Spider-Man, I enjoyed the story of what was being told to me, and I can't wait to see the conclusion of his story, despite how long it takes. But what does that have to do with Static? Well, part of Miles' characterization is his racial background being half Puerto Rican and half black. Hey, you have the wrong flag. Oops, a little bit of an Insomniac fuck up right there, my bad. Insomniac's been rubbing off on me a little bit. Excuse me about that. There we go, it's an easy fix. How could I make such an avoidable mistake? Anyways, the racial background of Miles Morales was not a very crucial part of his character. It was more of an instrument used in the film to give you a seamless transition into the exposition and character introduction without stopping the flow of the film. Everything from him having a Spanish-speaking mother leading him to have some Spanish proficiency, and him having a cinnamon roll personality father made him prone to have a protective personality when it comes to others and people he cares for. Hollywood would not know what to do with that when it comes to Static. For some background, Static was created because during that time, Spider-Man was reaching an arc in his story where he was becoming an adult, and I believe that story is coming close to an end. Therefore, my late GOAT McDuffie at the time decided to create Static to fill the possible void that was being created because of Spider-Man. Essentially, Virgil was supposed to be some kind of Dakotaverse Spider-Man. I don't know about a DC Spider-Man because some people give that to Dick Grayson, but again, he was supposed to be some form of parallel to Spider-Man. He was a nerdy character that was super into comic books and had a pretty high intellect, an overbearing bully, a crush that he was pussyfooting around asking out, and of course had the typical dead parent. The very essence of his character, like Spider-Man, was to protect his gang-infested community and help out other bang babies like him. And I know good and well, the moment that this movie gets greenlit, Richie would not be in the picture. For those who don't know, Richie is Virgil's best friend, and more specifically, his white best friend. He's his best friend, but he's the most whitest character in the entirety of the series. And something tells me I wouldn't be surprised that if this movie ever came out, Richie Richie would become the villain of the show because of that one episode that was shown in the Static Shock TV show, showing and revealing that his dad is just a little bit racist. Because God forbid Virgil has a white best friend. The Twitterverse would probably burst into flame and implode on itself just because of that. I can see the talking points now becoming that he's a black superhero and any form of caucasity playing a part in that story is outdated and should be removed for modern audiences. Not only that, I know if that movie was ever to be made, they're not going to follow the correct source material. That's right, I said correct. Because I know good and well that the movie is going to follow that garbage origin reboot known as Static Season 1. If you are unaware, back in 2021, a sizable chunk of the Dakotaverse got reboot, including Static and his backstory. And in simple terms, this comic made my boy nothing more than a brooding, angsty, and borderline murderous character. And I know good and well I am going to lose my marbles if I ever see on the big screen this simp getting gassed in a BLM protest on the big screen. By the way, yes, in the new origin, the Big Bang, which is the moment where they got their powers, is just a protest of them getting gassed by the police. And the reason why Static was there was because he wanted to impress Frida. He didn't care about the actual protest in the grand scheme of anything. He did not care about the cause, he just wanted punani, bro. This comic removed the very thing that gave Static an actual connection to his character in the first place and even facilitated his reasoning for becoming a hero. His struggle with him being involved in one of the Dakotaverse gangs because of Francis, aka Hotstreak, being a major bully to him, and he wanted to a degree get back at him, and all of that got scrapped in that comic because of pseudo politics. Virgil was a character that was heavily contrasted by the dark, mean, and unforgiving gang infested environment that he was in was part of the charm of the story, and the comic just threw it away. And I know damn well if an adaptation was ever made, that is a story that's going to be told, and I'm gonna be very upset. And a lot of the actual implied themes that was shown in the shows and in the old comic would be mostly replaced for racial undertone themes. I know that crap is gonna happen regardless. I just know that my dreams of having a highly regarded modern adaptation of Static is just gonna get tossed in the waste bin and just set ablaze. Hell, they might even just race swap Frida or Richie. I could see that crap happening too, because it would be better for the modern perception, I guess. And all of that back and forth, see what I did there, on how to adapt a modern Static is just gonna muddy the character in a way that is just disrespectful to my boy McDuffie. And don't get me wrong, I know I may be over exaggerating a tad bit, but this is what I perceive. And also, do you really want to leave Static in the hands of live action DC as it in the state it is now?
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
Plus, with the plethora of other main black heroes around him like Rocket and Icon, might just make it even more annoying to navigate, and it's just going to be a lot more lumped up stuff. I can see the scene coming up on screen saying people like us need to stick together, and I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up because I know they're not going to be talking about heroism. If they ever do adapt a new Static in this day and age, it has to be animated, either as a TV show or a movie. There is no in between. It cannot be live action. It's either got to be, it has to be a TV show. It can't be a live action film. If it's a live action film, it's going to get squashed. I don't know, but that's how I feel, how I think that Static might fail in the modern perception now if it was ever produced in 2024. What do you guys think? If Static was ever done today, would you ever think it would be presented well? Do you think it would be done worse? Do you think I'm just yapping crazily? I do this all the time. It's fine. I'm open to criticism, open to conversations. And lastly, thank y'all so much for over 950 subs. We are so close to 1,000. Let's try to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. And I was left to comment this, so check out our new Discord. I made a Discord for us to have our anime discussions. You can guys even leave some ideas for next videos I can do. Not only that, check out my gaming channel. It's only got one video out. I've been slacking on my editing, my bad. But check out my gaming channel, and that's it. Hope you guys have a good day. It's your boy Kadukun. Peace.
FMA, handle business, don't play. On point when it comes to the anime. Jack and Daxter, ayy, let's go. The ultimate heroes, don't stop, we on the road. Kadukun.
Yeah, welcome to the channel.